Chelsea with the victory as they will take all 3 points. Just take a look at what that means in the Premier League. Of course, way off that Champions League chase. Chelsea sitting in 11th place, 1 point now adrift of Newcastle, who sit in 10th. We welcome to the show Mario Melchiot joins us.
Hopefully your TV was working, Mario.
There were some issues today with the televisions
Not for
in
the
our
first
office.
I don't come to work to watch a game on my phone.
So,
trust me.
Shaka, you weren't here for that. So basically, I'm on the phone trying to sort it out, and I'm going, right, I'm going to go and find it. And Craig goes, right, I'm not watching the game then. That's it. I thought that was it.
Yeah. All right, I buckled, I watched it on my phone, producer was calling me, and then emails were coming in, so I tried to watch the game. If that had been NBA, somebody's backside would have been on fire, running to building 3 to get it fixed. But it's not NBA,
There we go.
It's not NFL,
right.
It's soccer.
But you know where we come from. Back in the day, it was like that. We had to survive. We will take it on a phone.
Go to building 56 and watch it. No! Get the TVs working. It's Champions League tomorrow. Building 3.
I love how he thinks this rant's going to make any good.
Nobody's going to see it.
Whoever's in charge of doing this is sat going, well, I'm not even watching.
Right.
What am I talking about?
There we go, that's that done. Mario, Chelsea deserved it, didn't they?
Feel better now.
Yeah, no. They definitely deserve to win. I think, you know what the key thing is? You know when you see people celebrate, when you score an early goal, people get really happy. But it's not always the best thing to happen. When you score an early goal, they score after 6 minutes. And then you think like, okay, this is it. You know, they're at home. They're going to really push the game all the way to the max. And they let them come back into the game. I think sometimes when you play the game like that, and for them to allow Newcastle to come back in the game was their own mistake, because they messed around with that ball so long. You understand? There was a switch, I think it was Fernandes, then it came to Malo Gusto, they messed around in the middle of the park. You know, like, get the ball under control and deal with it in a way that you all have the quality to deal with it. But they turn, boom. And then Isak, the goal that he took was really good. Why? Because he used, the Sassi's body, so, the goalkeeper could only see the ball coming at him late. And then later on, you see that, I think like sometimes you see substitutions happen, when they go in and they had that chat, and you think like, okay, Sterling had a chance before, but then Mudryk comes on, and you're hoping then, if they're gonna go for the, really finish the game off. Okay, they scored 1 goal, but then Mudryk then comes in, and he does exactly what you want him to do. Because you got to finish games off. And I think that's the only thing not the only thing, but this is one of the key things that Chelsea's been struggling with. They cannot finish games off. They always end up like getting it to 2-1 or 1-0, and then they let someone get back into the game. I think they got to work on that part really, really, really well.
Come on,
because
Mario. You've been hanging around with this lot too much. Normally you're the optimistic, you're the happy one.
Hold on. It's 10 for 11.
Yes, but I have to be honest, man. I have to be honest, man.
May as well switch the light out on this game.
What you did?
Just switch the light out.
You were moaning you could watch it a minute ago.
I tried to watch it.
No, but look, overall, Mario's right in the fact they scored early and then they drifted, let Newcastle back into it. But they did do better.
Because they're not very good.
Yeah, they did do better in the second half. If I'm a Chelsea fan...
Yeah, they did do better. I mean, we watched the bulk of the first half on our phones, such as our dedication.
Get on with it.
And Newcastle, for half an hour, when I get the bit between my teeth, it's coming. Newcastle, after that goal, Newcastle dominated possession, but for half an hour they had absolutely no cutting edge. And then I think it was Chalobah stepped out and, half-hearted challenge, and they get in behind and Isak scores that goal. He should have scored 5 or so minutes after it from a great long ball. Or I think it was either Isak or Willock. But it was a great long ball in behind. He's onside, misses it, flag goes up, the replay comes in, he was onside. That was a defining moment for Newcastle because, as you said, Chelsea were certainly better in the second half. But when you look at the league table, just see where these two are. I mean, I suppose in some sense it's maybe not such a surprise for Chelsea to be there because it's been unravelling. But to see Newcastle where they are is a big surprise to me. Even though they've had all these injuries. I wonder. Yeah. I look at it from Newcastle perspective, and I wonder how this is sitting at boardroom level. I don't know. I'm not suggesting it's a bad job or Eddie Howe, but whatever. But where they are on the table at the moment, yeah, they've had a big season, Champions League and whatnot. Some good performances, some bad. But they're ploughing a lot of money into that club. So I don't know how much pressure he's going to be under. We certainly, I don't think Pochettino's going to get the sack either, but sad to see Newcastle in that position from where they were last year.
It's fair to say this season's been pretty much a failure for Newcastle. Given at the start of the season we were talking about them finishing in the top 4, and things just have gone downhill.
Well, they had that great win against PSG, didn't they? And you thought, right, they're going to keep going.
And that seemed to be the high of the season. And I feel Newcastle's issues, a lot of them are their own making. And while, yes, you could look at injuries and how it's played a part in how this season has kind of unravelled, I thought in today's game, you saw why they struggled. First of all, let me say, as far as Chelsea goes, the positives, I thought that's the best I've seen Nico Jackson in a Chelsea shirt. Mudryk took his goal really, really well. Cole Palmer continues to show exactly why he's so well thought of. But Craig spoke about the Isaac goal, the Willock chance, that maybe changes the complexion of this game. But the second half was all about Chelsea. And for me, I think Newcastle's struggles were summed up by Chelsea's second goal. Chelsea were having all the pressure, granted. The ball then falls to Dan Burn, wide on the left-hand side, and he miscues his clearance for a Chelsea throw-in. Throw goes to Caicedo, no pressure. Caicedo into Enzo Fernandez, no pressure on the ball. Enzo Fernandez into Palmer, no pressure. He shoots through the legs of Burn, to beat Dubravka at the near post. Nothing Dubravka could do is remonstrating with Dubravka. So when we talk about, and all the talk about Liverpool yesterday and their injury issues and how that team has not lost its identity, even so, that version of Chelsea, that version of Newcastle that we saw for the Chelsea second goal is in total contrast to everything we saw and praised of them last season. And that, for me, has been Newcastle's issue all season long.
This Newcastle...
Why has it changed?
Well, I wonder now if it all started to unravel with the injury to Nick Pope, right? Because it seemed to be a little domino effect from there. Then we saw injuries to Botman and Byrne, and Trippier lost form, and this solid unit that they were able to give, this platform that they were able to give Gomares and Longstaff and Gordon and Isaacs and these Almiron and these players they've got, this rock-solid platform at the back has disintegrated. And it disintegrated with injuries and also lost of form. If you remember the Carabao Cup game, semi-final at Chelsea, when Trippier gives that away, makes that mistake late on, which when Mudryk again scores, takes it to extra time and penalties. There was lots of those little incidents coming along that were not there when that back four was operating with Pope in there, and it was Byrne, it was Botman, it was Schär, and it was Trippier. It was solid. And it seemed that one injury to Pope, although Dubravka's a very, very good goalkeeper, he was a number one, as Shaka said, in his own right for quite some time. I think it just set the ball rolling for a lack of confidence, then some injuries, then some mistakes, and it sort of weeded its way all the way through the team. And they just don't look, to me, to have the same intensity that they had when they were at their best. Simple as that.
Do you agree, Mario?
Yeah, I totally understand what Craig said. You know what happens sometimes with teams when they the two competitions, right? Okay, the cup games, it's going to come up, but that Champions League stuff, guys, it's something that hits you hard. And I think sometimes people underestimate it because Newcastle is a team that is in development, kind of. You understand, building it to a successful journey, and Chelsea's clearly the same. But I'm just saying, like, it's a team that it's a recent team that is maybe had the dip, but Newcastle is just doing it right now. And I think having so many competitions is really hard on the players because some of the players are either not used to it, and they have to understand that the Premier League, you want to play Champions League next season. And on the other part, you have that you want to do well in the Champions League while you're in it right now. And when they're out of it, okay, maybe they have more time on their hand. But you don't know if the players are physically up to speed in the sense of like, maybe they're already getting to the final stage of the season physically and energy-wise.
We saw Mudryk's goal, obviously, which actually proved to be the winner.
Yeah, mark this date. Composure.
You've been really critical of Mudryk, obviously, looking at the price tag and what he's delivered.
Not the only one at Chelsea, but he has been for the price and the talent level that he has. His end product, and it's all about end product. You know, it's all about what you do in the final third, not what you do in the middle of the park. And as a general rule of thumb, his end product has been pretty poor. In fact, it's been quite laughable. So, but I do think he has got a talent. Right. I mean, he's blessed with great pace. He's got good feet. He has got. It could be at some point good enough. Whether it's going to be, I doubt whether it'll be at Chelsea long term. But I think he is a good player. But he's another one of those. And I think when we talk about players that need to slow down in the final third, maybe Luis Diaz yesterday, Stevie touched upon, Darwin Núñez. This guy's way worse than that. He's way worse than that. You know, he really has. And that goal he scored against Newcastle was a prime example of not panicking. Was taking a couple of good touches, was seeing what's around the goalkeeper and dropping the shoulder. And if he can learn to do that, he's got half a chance.
Right.
And if he can't, he's got no chance. Not at this level. No chance.
A lot of new signings have struggled, of course, Mario, making that move to Stamford Bridge. Cole Palmer, very much the exception, of course. A goal and assist for him today.
No, Cole Palmer, you know, the situation also for him was really tricky, right? Because it wasn't his first thing. He wanted to play more when he was at City. And then coming over to Chelsea, it wasn't like in the first initial, it wasn't like I want to move 100%. And then the deal goes through. He's 100% a Chelsea player. But his confidence was at the right place. Because if you look at the team, he comes into a team that is not that confident. Okay, the guys maybe came in and some maybe have a certain belief. But the way he is playing and the way it's almost like sometimes you play football in a team. You see a footballer in your team. He has no fear, and I think Palmer is playing like that. He has no fear. Doesn't think about anything. His confidence is that well that he picks the ball up anywhere he wants. And if he wants to dribble, he dribbles. If he wants to do something else, people believe in his ability, and I think that is one of the key things for him. That's why I think he's playing like that, and that's why he's scoring the goals, because that's what people want. And I think also when we, like how you tapped into what Craig said regarding Mudryk, Palmer is playing a different situation. Where he picks up the ball, he's dangerous. Mudryk, the difference between them two is that Mudryk sometimes picks the ball up and he goes back that far to pick it up that he had to run 40 yards before he can take someone on. While if he stands deeper, because I hated it when I had a winger against me that is really on my line, because as soon as the ball comes to him, he's one against one, he's running at me. But if the guy goes really deep and picks it up, it's the easiest job he's giving the defenders. So I think he has to work on that. Where do I pick up the ball to become more dangerous? And I think that's exactly what Palmer is doing right.